want to leave, but I couldn't leave. So I was like, oh my God, like if only I have a flexible time, I can do like a full-time job and like do all this like side gigs. And yeah, so I felt really sad na hindi ko magawa yung mga side gigs and they're well paid. So I tried looking for opportunities.
Welcome to Spill the Creativity Podcast, the podcast where we will be having conversations with other creatives that will inspire us, keep us encouraged, and push us to reach our own goals. This is the place where we will be acknowledging the hard truths because while this path is fulfilling, the truth is there's no easy way to do things. It all takes hard work. We are going to be talking about the good and the bad about choosing a creative career. If you're looking for a cup of stimulation for creatives, a warm cup of tea in this otherwise bittersweet pursuit, then you're in the right place. So let's get that cup of tea and get on with the conversation. Yay! I am so happy that you said yes to this interview. And yeah, sobrang nasa starstruck ako. Oh my gosh, kamukha mo si Catherine.
I'm excited for when you messaged me actually. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Looking forward to it.
Before we get like into the whole podcast situation, quick kwento for everybody who's listening / watching our episode. I knew you from the internet, obviously, around 2018 yata or 2017. And that was like the year when I heard about VAs. Sobrang curious ko. And then somebody invited me into a Facebook group called Work from Home Pinay or something.
Yeah. It's Work from Home Pinay PH.
Yeah, and then like you were one of the contributors pa ata yung tawag nung time na yon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm so confused. What is she doing? So like I've always seen you in this space for so long na. Tapos when I finally like went into the whole freelancing thing, circa 2020, ikaw pa rin yung nakikita ko, but this time in another freelancing group na. And finally, I have you here in my podcast. So yeah, before we get into like the whole thing, Coach Susie, let us know or let the people know who you are. What do you do and where are you now?
So about me, I am Susie. I'm an online business manager and I've been freelancing for so long. For so long now that I don't even remember. I think 8 years now. Like this year, yeah, like really long. I'm doing online business management. I've done VA work, had agency work as a lead generation specialist. I'm actually kind of slowly transitioning to product management now.
That is so cool. Mostly what we're going to talk about today is like the S word that a lot of freelancers are so scared, or like even like the people who want to get into freelancing this is like the S word that everybody is talking about. And in case you didn't know what that S word was, that is sustainability, like, or stability, diba? Parang yun lagi yung tanong, parang stable ba dyan? And I guess like you've been here for 8 years. I don't think that's like stable enough for you. But like before that, I want to know, how did you end up here? Like, have you always been into like the whole cyberspace or something? How did you find your way here?
Yeah, actually, I'm not techie because back then when I was starting, that was kind of like the minimum requirement. At least you have to be tech savvy, basically. And I wasn't. I wasn't at all. It's more of, and probably a lot of people are like, oh my God, their why is like deeper, right? Like for me, it's just really money. I want the money. So my background is actually, I graduated Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communication. And that is more of like jack of all trades, but master of none. It's like you can do a lot of like side gigs. I did a lot of like side gigs. I didn't have that like permanent role before because I had this like mindset na I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle for a job that I'm not happy. So I was a job hopper. So during that time, I was just like, okay, if I'm not happy here, I'm just gonna look for another one because I was young to really like be in a job until I was getting some work from my friends because most of my friends works for ad agency, which I'm really lucky. So I was able to like get some side gigs. So hindi ako nawawala ng racket. Like, ang dami kong racket before. That kind of sustained me. But at the same time, you know, Asian mom. So my mom was like, hey, you have to find jobs so that ma-apply ka nila sa SSS. You know, the typical SSS ka, may healthcare ka, those things. And I was like, okay. Because I was lazy to do that part as well. Syempre, puro racket ka lang. Wala ka namang pambayad sa mga SSS or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to look for more permanent one. And I think the parang pinakamatagal was sa university work. I was doing student affairs, mostly events management. So my background is like project management, events management of all this racket. With this university, I was working, well, 8 hours and I was only getting paid 40K pesos. But the thing is, during that time, it was okay. I didn't like it because there's no flexibility of time. That job is in Las Piñas. I'm from Quezon City. So I have to go home every weekend. And that was the time na kina-cut off na ako ng mga friends because I couldn't go to weddings, bachelorettes. Like, I miss a lot of events. And I couldn't go because my 8 to 5 requires me to be there. But at the same time, on the weekend, and my job is very hands-on sa mga students. So they require me to go with them on the weekend events. So wala talaga akong buhay for 2 years. And that time, from a place na nag-racket ka, and then madaming opportunities na lumalapit sa akin, I couldn't go. And hindi ako busy sa school because I'm only busy when there's events. And I have my own office, like closed door. And there were times na nakatulog na ako sa afternoon because I don't have work. Tapos I want to leave, but I couldn't leave. So I was like, oh my God, like if only I have a flexible time, I can do like a full-time job and like do all this like side gigs. And yeah, so I felt really sad na hindi ko magawa yung mga side gigs and they're well paid. So I tried looking for opportunities actually that I can do. I didn't know if it's like gonna be a remote until one of my friend actually told me that he's earning 50K pesos working from home. Nung sinabi niya sa akin 50K, I didn't even ask like what I need to learn, like how long. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
just
in.
sign me
Like
up
you
right
have,
now.
yeah, sign me up. So sabi ko sa kanya, can you teach me? And nasabi niya sa akin, I cannot. Na meron daw akong full-time job kasi syempre yung time niya, etc. And I get it. I mean, if you're spending time to train me and like help me out, you want my full commitment. I quit my job. Nag-quit ako, walang backup, walang anything. Wala man lang akong savings, emergency fund or anything. It's more of like, okay, all in. So I went back home, and then this friend did not help me out at all. And during that time, it was the season that most freelancers or online workers think na competitors lahat. So kapag may tinulungan silang isa, agaw mo sila ng client. That was the entire mindset. Kaya walang community noon. It was so hard to start. Kasi wala ka talagang information na makikita. Wala talaga. You have to really like work your ass off and find out paano mo siya gagawin. So, wala na akong choice. Nag-quit na ako sa job ko. So, all I have to do is make it happen. Kasi sinabi ko na sa mama ko na this is real. And pag sinabi mo yun sa nanay mo, di ba parang,
It's
di na
official.
naiintindihan. Yeah, di na naiintindihan. So, supportahan ka na. But at the same time, you have to prove it's real. And it's 3 months in and I was unemployed. So how can I tell my mom na hindi siya mag-work? So like nandun na ako sa point na wala akong choice. So I just have to make this work. I have to find a way how to make this work. So mas hindi ako techie. I was like really non-stop, just online, trying to apply for work. But not just that, I was very intentional about it. So, yun, nag-apply ako ng work and then I got lucky. I got hired sa VA agency and VA agency trained you. So, doon na nag-start. So, from there, I discovered like the, in and out and here I am.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And I love I don't love it. I don't love the fact that nobody was teaching anyone at that time. But like, I love that you shared that because I feel like that's also the reason why it took so long for the freelancing route to like take off kasi nobody was willing to share anything. I really like your personality because with the way you're telling your story, it's like, you know what, I want this. Mamaya na yung consequences. Basta gagawin ko siya. Yeah, I feel like that's also a trait that, well, it's not for everybody because a lot of
It's
people
not.
are
Mm-hmm.
more, mas maano sila sa risk. But I feel like that's
Yes.
a trait that really pushes people forward.
Mm-hmm.
My story is not like super the same sa'yo, but I also quit my job without savings and
I
everything.
remember.
I
Yeah.
feel like that is the reason why also I am thriving right now. Because I feel like I have to experience the hardship. Parang may ano ko na, hindi ako babalik sa ganitong stage. Parang
Mm-hmm.
move forward lang from here. So I feel like
Yeah.
that is really part of the drive that
Exactly.
pushes us. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
so since there were no communities, how did you end up putting together work from home Pinay PH and then eventually like join other communities with other freelancers? And you know what, now that
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, racket is like a Filipino colloquial term for freelance.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Freelance siya
Yeah.
talaga, hindi lang online. I mean, not necessarily
Yeah. Yeah.
online. Parang
Yeah. Yeah.
pag sinasabi ng mga tao, rumarakit ako, technically freelance work yun eh. Kasi hindi
Yeah,
naman
yeah,
contract.
freelancer.
Yeah,
Yes,
anyway,
yes, yes,
cool.
exactly. Yeah. So when I actually got my first VA work, parang nakakita ako ng light after the tunnel. Na talaga parang, oh my God, everyone should discover this. Kasi ganun yung mindset ko. Parang, may mundo na hindi alam ng ibang tao. I have to show them this. And I got crazy doing that. Like, it became my mission to tell everyone what I do and they have to transition. And that was stupid of me. Because obviously I have my batchmates in college, and during the time, my time is flexible and I can like work anywhere, right? So from Quezon City, my friends work in Makati. And since I'm the one flexible, I'm the one that, visits them, meet them during lunch, that during their lunch break, or meet them for dinner. And then nagmukha akong MLM. Because I even have a PowerPoint. This is how passionate I was. I had a PowerPoint explaining everyone why they should transition, how they can transition, how much was the salary. And I only added a salary there because it was my driver that time na feeling ko pag nakita nila from their 14K salary or 20K salary, magkakaroon sila ng 50K salary. So parang that was kind of the hook. But apparently that ended up being sounding like MLM. And because I was paying for their coffee or I was paying for their food, I was that like really like into it. Now, oh my God. And not because I just like, oh, I want them to transition. It's because I saw how hard it was working in a corporate. Like, it's crazy because hindi ako nagko-commute ako, but I didn't have to commute every day like them. I'm not sure if you've been to Makati ng office out like uwian, like the bus, they look like ants na nag-aagawan sa bus, and they have to do that every day. And I don't know how they're doing that. So nung na-discover kay freelance, I was like, oh my God, they should know this. Like there's a way out. So I kept on like doing that, and nobody really cares. I think they do believe, but I think it's more of like, then I have to start from scratch. I have to like, the hindi stable, hindi ganito, which I totally get. That was the thing. During that time, I was just like nonstop doing that. And until I realized it's not for everybody. And you cannot force everyone to do it. Like, you shouldn't. And then I gave up. Parang, okay, you know what? It's not their world. It's my world. I'm just gonna do my thing. And then I realized na when you let go, you're gonna attract the right people. So that's when I actually got to know Gaze. I met her and she has the same like drive na parang, oh my God, like not a lot of people knows work from home. And I want to teach them. So that's how like the work from home community started. It's just a free community with like a lot of templates and a lot of like more of like workshop to just really help Filipinas to transition to work from home. And I felt at home dun sa community kasi parang that's what I really want. Na I really want to help other people. And instead of forcing my friends, I can just, help others who are already interested. Hindi mo na kailangan payasahin, and it's not MLM. It's just more of like, there's an opportunity that they're not seeing, and it's just too bad they're not seeing it. So that's how the work from home started. I did a lot of like workshops, co-hosting with her, and like the back end of it. And then I think it was 2018 or 2019 I discovered the freelance movement tribe. That's when the time na parang dumadami na yung mga community, na paid communities. During that time, I was thinking, I joined 2 communities that time, na parang, okay, since I have this money, kasi something happened back then. So I searched some things that I can invest to sa sarili ko, and I found the freelance movement tribe and another community. And yeah, so that's how I started with them. I enrolled as a member as well until I got promoted as a coach.
Oh my gosh, ang ganda nung Genesis story mo talaga kasi parang pre-freelancing era yung story. And I love how you were so passionate about it. I feel like yun talaga yung kulang eh. Like, I mean, freelancing is very lonely in the sense na iba-iba kasi yung projects natin, iba-iba yung work natin. Even if you say na, for example, social media managers, OBM,
Yeah.
like they have these
Yeah.
like groups. Pero
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
when you work on things, you're alone. And
Yes.
honestly, I can't imagine a world without the community. Feeling ko like, wow, buti na lang you had this drive and you found people also who had the same drive
Yeah.
as you. So like from trying to force everybody to freelance, now, diba, parang the tables have turned. Like everybody now wants to know that opportunity. I guess like you were just way too ahead of your time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet your friends are going back to you and saying na, ano nga yung opportunity na
They
sinasabi mo
did
dati?
many times, yes.
Parang for me din naman before, circa 2018, 2017, parang feeling ko, it sounds so sketchy kasi parang you get dollars and then, what? You're just gonna work in the internet? Parang, what are they doing? Selling feet pics? Parang ganun yung, merong ganun connotation. So it's really
Agree. Yeah,
sketchy.
yeah.
So while I understand your drive, I also understand the people who are like, I'm not gonna quit
Yeah.
my job for this. Parang ganun.
Exactly. That's why I gave up. I'm like, okay, this is not for everybody. You're not supposed to force them. Like, don't.
Yeah, and then now, well, again, like the tables have turned. So at least, 'di ba, parang it was 4, 5 years in the making yung
Yeah,
yung
no, for sure.
pag-convert. Yeah, but
Yeah.
so you mentioned earlier that you had all these online and offline freelancing
Mhm.
gigs, and then eventually you are now an online business manager, also transitioning to something else. But like, how did you end up here? So you started first as a VA, and then you realized that you wanted to specialize on systems and
Yeah. So I was doing virtual assistant, and I think that was a good start because if you're not tech savvy or you haven't worked online, because the thing is, all the soft skills and kind of like framework are the same sa offline. The only difference are the tools. How can you actually parang convert the skills into the tools? Like for example, for project management, if you have that framework, like, okay, project management offline on the field is like coordinating. But if you're going to convert that online, you need project management tool to actually coordinate. So that's the only thing that's missing, right? But that's kind of difficult to kind of learn if, well, you're going to enroll to any programs or like, but if you're like starting from scratch, virtual assistant is, I think, a really, really good stepping stone. So I started as a virtual assistant until I transitioned to Google Ads management. So I started as like just doing keyword research, and then I promote to Google Ads, and then I promote to like a lead manager. So I was handling Facebook ads and Google Ads. And during that time, I think I can do it like really, really well. I was really good at it. Na pwede na akong nakapikit and I can do everything and then done. Like I can do it 15 minutes, like really fast, and I have people under me and it takes them so much, and it was boring. Yun yung time na parang money versus like you have to think about it. Na parang is this really worth it? Like you're earning money, but are you happy? I felt like it was more of a robot na job na. I would wake up, I know what to do, and then that's it. I was not happy, and I don't think I was growing. So, parang nagkaroon ako ng breakthrough na, okay, since you're teaching everyone to actually how to find clients and this and that, let's try it. Let's try it again. Like, how are you getting? Because that was like what 4 years. Now I didn't need to like get any other clients or whatever. I was settled. So I was like, okay, let's test it. So I had a breakthrough, and then I asked myself, okay, if you're gonna transition to another offer, what offer is that? And I always have this framework like, okay, what are you good at? What's your strength that you enjoy? So that's the thing, because I have a lot of strengths, but do you enjoy everything? So I
Yeah,
asked myself,
makes
like,
sense.
okay, what were you doing before that you enjoy? Like, you really, really like gonna be happy if na-convert mo siya online. And that was project management. So sabi ko, okay, project management, how can I convert this online? And then I discovered it's an OBM. So project management is not kind of a common term. Well, it is kind of under OBM, but OBM is really like, ito yung pinaka mas madaming offer kind of na service. So I search OBM, I check all the job scopes, and then may match doon na parang, okay, may skill ka ba na ganito, wala kang skill, okay, ito yung aralin mo. So I created my learning path and I started interviewing people like, kasi sometimes we're delusional, right? Nakita natin na parang, they're doing SMM, they're doing podcast management, they're doing this. Oh, malaking kinikita nila, let me jump into it. And then you'll realize it's not something pala na na-imagine mo. Hindi pala yun. Masyado mo lang ni-romanticize yung service. So for me, I don't want to do that because I have to I have to start from scratch. So I want to make sure I'm 100% sure that I'm into it. So I had to interview people. I asked them like, hey, do you really do this? Kasi ito yung sabi do sa job scope. Ito ba talaga yung ginagawa mo? And what do you think about the skills that I have right now? Do you think I'm gonna thrive? And during that time when I was interviewing them, I felt like it was more of a date. I had like butterflies. Like I was like, oh my God, that's something I want to do. I'm 100% sure I'm gonna love doing that. So that was the proof now, okay, go for it. So I transitioned to OBM. So I was doing kind of like side gig before I transitioned.
So you worked with an agency when you were a VA, and then when was the time when you went on your own, and how did you come about with that decision?
I don't know the timeline. That's the thing. I don't know the timeline of like transition of everything because I never stop. Doesn't mean like I have a client right now, like, okay, I'm cool. Di na ako
Yeah.
maghahanap no, I never stop applying for jobs for like doing lead generation until now. Because you have to understand when you're a freelancer, you're your own employer. You
Yes.
shouldn't depend your career on other companies because the thing with freelancer is that they can terminate you anytime, even tomorrow. Maski may contract, wala saan pakialam. Mabagal yung law natin. So they can terminate you right there and then. I've seen that with a lot of like co-team members as well in that agency. So I was like, oh my God, there's no way I'm gonna like depend on these people. I'd rather be so active on looking for clients. So I have a backup plan if ever. And until now, I still do that. I really don't settle. So the timeline, I'm not sure, but I remember as soon as I saw a better opportunity and better money, I transitioned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that is the answer to everybody's question about sustainability, which goes back to what you said earlier that freelancing is really not for everyone because not
Mm,
everybody has the drive to always, or not everybody has the energy to always be looking for clients,
mm,
always be on the lookout. So you
mm,
said that you never stopped looking for jobs. I think like that's not a trait or that's not something that everybody is willing to go for.
mm.
That is
Yeah.
why people tend to choose a quote unquote more secure job, like a corporate
Mm,
job. Like if you have a 1 year contract, 1 year ka talaga,
mm.
which is like totally different from what you said nga na even if
Yeah.
may contract ka, if they wanna terminate you, they can terminate you. So yeah, I think yun yung pinaka sagot sa mga tanong nila. Is it
Yeah. Yeah.
sustainable? I think it's really
Yeah.
up to you to make it sustainable.
Mm, for
Yeah.
sure.
You've been in the industry for more or less 8 years. And then I love that you mentioned that you never stopped looking for better opportunities. And I think that that is a really good message na you don't slack off, which is like
Yeah.
a good thing and a bad thing, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good thing because you're in control. If you want more
Yeah.
opportunities, you can make your own. Pero it can also be
Yeah.
a bad thing kasi, well, nakakapagod naman na forever ka
Yeah, for
maghahanap
sure.
ng
Yeah.
clients. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you need to really look into it as your own business, like you as your own employer. Because if it's your business, you never stop looking for customers. You don't settle for just one customer. So, yeah. And if it's a business, you don't stop reinventing yourself. And which is another thing about a lot of freelancers. When they learned one skill, they thought it's done. Like,
Okay na
you
ako.
need,
Ganun.
yeah, you need to be in a lookout. How can I actually upskill or reinvent myself? How can I be better at this pa? I think that's another thing that's lacking because there's so many, especially now, like so many freelancers now probably better than others. And if you're gonna stop and gonna be stagnant and you're gonna stop learning, mapag-iwanan ka talaga.
Yes.
Mapag-iwanan ka. Yeah.
Lalo na in the digital space. I mean, okay, I can speak from the perspective of a social media manager. That's the reason why I left social media management kasi parang almost every week may bago, hindi ko na kaya. So if wala kang drive na to always stay on top of number one, the trends, and number two, the skills, wala talaga. So I feel
Another
like,
reason why I left Google Ads. The same
oh,
with you.
yeah.
Every month may update.
Yeah.
Over this, yeah.
Yun, parang I feel like apart from, like always be on the lookout for jobs, freelancing is also a lot about personality. Of course, like the personality to, like have this kind of drive to always look for clients, always wanna like learn, learn, and learn. It can
Yeah.
be learned. But yeah, kung hindi ka masipag sa ganun, wala din talaga. Like maybe
Yeah.
a 9 to 5 would be better. Kasi although I'm not saying that walang growth sa 9 to 5, it's like the
Yeah.
growth is a little slower. And nakadepende
Yeah.
ka sa employer mo eh. Hindi like
Yeah.
said na it's
Yeah.
all you pag freelancer ka. Lalo na pag may
Yeah.
team ka na.
Yeah.
It's you and other people.
The thing with employers is that they have a career growth plan for
Yeah.
all their employees. They have an HR to do that. When it comes to freelancing, you need to have your own 90 days action plan. You need to have your own learning plan, like everything. It's on you.
Which is again like a double-edged sword. It can be a good thing or
Mm-hmm.
a bad thing. Siyempre like
Exactly.
may days na parang gusto ko na lang maging patatas or like pwede bang utusan niyo na lang ako, gagawin ko na lang. Pero may
For
times na
sure.
yes, buti na lang I'm my own boss.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so if there's a good thing about freelancing gigs, whether it's physical or online, it's the fact that you can control your time and you can control wherever you want to be. And I think like with the story that you shared, yung gusto ko yung kinuwento mo na you have your own office and you felt literally stuck. Na-experience ko din yun in my corporate job. I mean, my corporate job was okay. I mean, they weren't bad to me or anything. But na-feel ko yung, dito na lang ba ako? Yung mga ganong kadramahan. Like, ang dami kong talent. So lang makakita.
Exactly. No, that's true.
So
Yeah.
na-feel ko din yon. So like, anyway, so like, that's one of the perks of being a freelancer. You can work literally anywhere. And I feel like
Yeah.
you've really made most of that perk and moved like to another continent, to another country. And now you are in Europe. Woo!
Yeah.
So like, can you like walk us through how you ended up there din naman? And how is like the freelancing life in Spain in particular? Because I heard like the Spanish government I think has like really good perks for freelancers. And I think I heard that from you also. So maybe you could share about.
Yeah. So I've been working since I was 19, as soon as I graduated. All of my travel, most of my travel are actually related to work. So, ano talaga, puro work ako from 19 to 25. Hindi ko na-experience yung parang youth. And during that time, my sister kasi is working abroad. So, I was taking care of my nephew. So, when I returned home from that 2 years university job, I was the one taking care of my nephew. So, it's also tough to actually go anywhere because you have, like, he has schools, this and that. So, I was kind of like, experienced being a mom early on, na hindi pa naman ako mom. So I was taking care of him. And that time I felt like I'm not experiencing the world and life. When I've been like working online, so parang sabi ko, okay, I think it's about time to choose me. And that was the time when I broke up with my ex kasi for a long time. So parang, when you're just out of a relationship, you see this like new life and new vision na parang, oh shoot,
Yeah.
what am I doing with my life? And in the Philippines, parang 25 years old by hook or by crook, kakasal ka na, dapat may, alam mo yun, I have that mindset na parang, before 30, I'm gonna have a kid. We all have that kind of like, imaginary, I don't know. So,
Timeline.
Yeah, so that time I was like a bit worried, like, oh my God, I'm 25, I don't have anyone. Eh, kapag nag-relationship ka, kailangan starts with friendship. So I was computing it. I was like, okay, so I need to be friends with him for 2 years, this and that.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, so I'm that. So sabi ko, oh shit, like, so it's gonna be tough for me to do that in the Philippines because ang traffic.
Yeah, tsaka syempre may
Because
ligaw stage pa tayo.
yeah,
May ano pa, ang haba ng
exactly.
haba ng dating
Yes,
stage sa Philippines.
exactly. And since I haven't traveled much, so sabi ko, okay. Because before we broke up, because he's based in Europe, so sabi ko, okay, I'm gonna apply for a visa sa Spain. And then we broke up, I got my visa. So I asked my mom, should I push through or not? My mom told me it's gonna be good for you, gonna be good for. Because to be honest, medyo egoistic ako before. In a way na, like ko sinasabi, na I don't need to go abroad to earn the salary they're earning. I'm earning it now. Alam mo, may ganun ako mindset na parang magkano salary ang salary ko. So, like ko sinasabi,
Love
so
it.
I don't need to go abroad. But I didn't know it's not just the money, but it's the growth. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm so happy that my mom actually pushed me to do it. So initially, the plan is just 9 months to really just travel. So I joined the Auxiliar de Conversaciones program. It's kind of like a student exchange or language exchange program here in Spain. And then, and so initially 9 months, and then plan ko lang mag-travel. That's all. And then go back home. Really, walang plan to stay or anything. Oh my God, 3 weeks in. 3 weeks in here. There's another freelancer, Kuya Jeff. I met him in the tribe. And so that's another cool thing about community, right? Like anywhere you go, you know, you're gonna like
Yeah.
connect with someone. So
Yeah.
anyway, he live here. He has a family here. He married to a Spaniard. They invited me. Oh my God, huge house with elevator, with like winery, like something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, like the life here. And then I saw how just the neighborhood, like how amazing yung health nila. So parang that was like such an eye opener for me. There's no traffic,
Yeah, like
like
this is
yung
possible for you.
exactly. So I was like, oh my. So that was in Barcelona. I moved to Madrid and then I've experienced the best public transportation. Like,
Okay.
oh my God, anywhere you go.
Yeah.
And obviously it's train, so it's not expensive. It's like just a regular public transport. So that
Yeah.
was so mind blowing. Now you're gonna meet your friends for coffee, and you can even like for right now where we're living, it's just 10 minutes away. And the thing is, if ever sa Philippines to, diba, you're meeting your friend at 12 noon, you have to leave at what 9 a.m. Kind
Yes.
of like that because of the
Yeah.
traffic. You're never gonna know like everything. And then, syempre, kung alis ka na 9 a.m., you have to wake up 7 to prep. Like, those things, I've experienced that every day in the Philippines. And here, I'm meeting someone in 30 minutes. I'm going to prep in 15. Like, I'm not going to prep an hour before. So, I think I lost so much time in my
Yes.
life.
In traffic, right?
In traffic. In traffic. And a
Wow.
lot of people don't believe this because whenever they would meet me and they would ask me like, why are you like settling here? Kasi like ko sinasabi sa kanila, pag natanong nila ako, are you back? Are you planning to move back? I was like, no way. You know,
Yeah.
when you finally found a country that you feel like you're at home, may
Yeah.
ganun pala talaga. I didn't believe it before, but I feel
Yeah.
like Spain is my home. I didn't feel,
Wow.
out of place here. I felt like this is my country. And yun, considering the traffic, na parang crazy traffic sa Philippines, I felt like I don't want to waste my time just in traffic.
That's true.
So, yun, I discovered that they have a freelancer visa here. And so when I discovered that, I was like, okay, convert.
So
And then do
that's the
it.
visa that you're on now.
Yes.
Wow,
And
okay.
another good thing about it is that since they colonized us, after 2 years of legal residence, you are eligible to, after 2 years, yeah, you're eligible to apply for the citizenship. So, like the passport itself, you're going to be dual citizen. So that's why
Yeah.
I decided to stay.
Let's backtrack a little bit. So the visa that you got when you first went to Spain was a tourist visa or
Student.
student? Oh, that was for the 9-month exchange thing. that
Yes.
you did.
Yes.
And then after that, you went for the freelancer's visa. And then I'm thinking now you're gonna apply for the citizenship.
Yes. So it's in process now. Yes.
Wow! Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Okay, so how difficult was everything? Let's go back to like the student visa. How was your experience applying for that visa here in the Philippines? And then when you got into
Mhm.
Spain, how was it applying for the freelance visa?
The student is not hard.
Mm.
If it's the auxiliar, it's not hard because it's more of like them convincing you to come here more than you convincing them because it's a program of the embassy.
This is a language exchange.
Yes, kind of, but
So
it's
you kind
more
of
of
need, do you need to know how to learn, do you need to know how to speak Spanish?
now you do, before hindi. So
Oh.
basically, parang ganun yung term nila, language exchange, but it's basically you're gonna be assigned to school and then 16
Parang si Ayin
hours.
Bernos? Or,
Yes, the same, yes.
oh,
That's
okay.
that's the same thing. Yeah, it's 16 hours a week, 4 hours a day, and basically you're just gonna be there standing in the
Yeah.
classroom, and
So you
then
still
the
have so
teacher.
much time to do freelance work. Kasi
Exactly,
4 hours lang.
exactly,
Nasa sa Spain ka
because
pa. I
yes, kasi
remember
nasa mid siya ng
researching
US.
this.
Yes, mid siya ng US. So the US time zone here, 8 a.m. is actually 3 p.m., which is tapos ka na sa school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Sige,
So it's
hingin
perfect.
ko yung mga links from you so that I could put it in the show notes. So like,
Yeah, yeah,
I guess
for
we can
sure.
all
Yeah.
go to Spain.
So that one is not hard. It's not
Okay.
hard. I know right now because a lot of people wants to move here. So medyo nag-require na sila ng, well, very basic actually. I think just A2, which is the super basic na Spanish. So yeah, that's not too hard. Yun lang yung alam ko na additional requirement they ask. But other than that, it's not hard to actually apply for it.
And then,
Yeah.
so how long did it take? Or like, maybe we could talk about the requirements. Like, what were the things that you needed to prepare? Like, did they ask for like mga ITR? Or did you have to declare that you were a
So that's
freelancer?
the thing. So that's the thing. The good thing about this one is may allowance ka kasi. So they're not requiring you to actually show proof of like huge savings. I think during that time I only had 100K dun
Oh.
sa bank na pinakita ko. It's more because they're paying you na allowance na parang, they call it allowance because it's nga kind of like language exchange na. It's like 1,000 euros, which is so like it's enough
Yeah.
to live here. So meron nun. So knowing that the government, the embassy is not gonna ask you for a huge like amount of money. And yes, they know that I was a freelancer back then. Na-curious pa nga yung sa ano, yung sa counter,
Embassy.
parang gusto din niya mag-transition. Sabi ko, payakan dyan.
Sendan
Sino
kita
pa na?
PowerPoint.
Oh. But yeah, I did say it, but they're not really requiring like they didn't ask for ITR or anything like that.
Mm.
Like yung letter from the school, your med cert, your diploma, your transcript. Mostly
Yeah.
ganun, parang student ano talaga, requirements kind of.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then, how long did it take for them to approve your visa?
Normally 2 weeks lang. I think for me 2 weeks. 2 weeks to 1 month lang yun eh. Mostly, yeah. It's just the process from application to that. Because application in the program, the thing is you have to get a spot. So yun yung medyo mahirap because a lot of people are applying.
Yeah.
Priority kasi nila yung partner schools. And then may parang stage 2 sila, which is hindi kasama doon sa mga partner school. Tapos limited lang yung spot na yun. So dun yung nag-aagaw ng mga tao. And during that time, nasa stage 2 ako. So that was, I think, January. And then from January, you're gonna wait, if I think just a month, if accepted ka. And then papag-applyin ka nila sa website na based sa Australia. And then mag-aantay ka na lang ng city kung saan ka ma-assign. Kasi they're gonna ask you to choose. And then, mamimili ka ng 3 city, and then I chose Madrid. And then, magsasabi sila sa'yo, I think after a month, na, okay, you got Madrid. And then, when you got Madrid, you have to wait what school naman. So it's more of that waiting until July na matatanggap mo na yung letter from that school. So you can submit your application once you have the letter from the school.
That's so cool. Okay, that's interesting. And then, so when did you apply for the freelancer's visa? 3 weeks after that?
No, because during that time, it was a light work, yung language assistant. So I was like, oh, I'm okay, like doing it. I was not really thinking until COVID happened. And it was like tough to do it during COVID. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna transition. So, kasi parang, do I really need it? right now.
Yeah.
Parang yung stress na to, because it was stressful. Online siya. So medyo naging tamad yung mga teachers. So instead of them teaching, parang pinapasa na nila sa amin kasi nga it's online. Parang, bakit ako magtuturo? Hindi ko naman ito trabaho. Hindi naman ako
Yeah.
bayad para magtuturo. Bayad lang ako para translate no. How do you pronounce this word? Or
Yeah.
can you practice like speaking with them? Like puro speaking practice lang. Tapos naging ikaw na magtuturo. So parang ako I don't think this is for me. So I searched how I can convert. And during that time it's COVID. So I was lucky.
Timing din talaga, no?
Lenient yung government that time when it comes to like all the approvals. I hired a lawyer. So every processes that I'm doing and I've done here with a lawyer because noob talaga ako and I was so scared to mess it up. Kasi dito, it's worse than the Philippines. Their document process here are the only thing that immigrants hated, like because it's crazy. So I'd rather, so like all of the process from that to here now the citizenship, I hired a lawyer for it because I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to be sure. Yeah.
Okay. And then what are the perks of like getting the the freelancer's visa?
You have all the benefits, free healthcare.
Oh.
Yeah. They have free healthcare. You have, how do you say it? You have a retirement plan. You have that. Like your social security goes there. You have those benefits. But the thing is, you cannot apply for a freelancer visa from the Philippines.
You have to be in Spain first.
Here. So good thing they just launched. Actually, last March they launched a digital nomad visa, which is now perfect for Filipinos because you can apply that from the Philippines.
Oh.
Yeah, and the only difference is that for the digital nomad visa, your client is not supposed to be based in Spain. Dapat anywhere, which is, well, most of the clients naman talaga natin is not based in Spain.
Yeah.
So, which is great. Yun lang yung parang difference nila na dapat hindi sa Spain yung client. When it comes to freelancer visa, which we call it autonomous visa, dapat may client ka dito.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you have Spanish clients now?
Yes, just one. Just to maintain.
Okay, smart. Yeah. I super love this conversation. Another question that I want to ask is, if you were to give advice to, I guess, like to the people who are still kind of questioning if freelancing is sustainable or not, like what would be your message for them?
I think you cannot convince everybody.
Yeah.
And I would say, wala naman kasi talagang stable or sustainable. Whether you're an employee or a freelancer, it's just a matter of you making it work, I guess. Because even like, okay, you're an employee. As an employee, you're not giving your 100%. You're not performing. They're not seeing you grow. They're gonna let you go. They're not, like the company is not gonna settle and let you, unless it's a big company na. Kasi some of the companies talaga wala silang process and it's just like, bahala na. Kasi andyan naman na siya matagal na. So they're just gonna let you go. But at the same, let you stay. But at the same time, that's kind of like not beneficial for you as well, right? It's just like, you're very stagnant. So the same with freelancing, if sa employer nga, as an employee, you have to do 100%. The same thing with as a freelancer, right? Hindi ka naman mag-work sa client, like na-close mo yung client. Right? And then you're going to say like, okay, I'm just going to give my 20% here and not do my best. No, you get crazy to show them result and to show them that you can do it, that you're going to do your best. It's the same thing. So how do you make it sustainable? By reinventing yourself, upskilling. I think that's number one. Because like, for example, for me, as an OBM, there's so many OBM. Yeah. So when I was starting as an OBM, onti pa lang kami. Super onti pa lang. And it was kind of an offer na kind of weird. I feel like you cannot sit with us vibe during that time when I was starting. Kasi may OBM certification and that OBM certification is like 5,000. So if I don't have that. I don't have the OBM cert. I didn't get it. During that time, it was like kind of like tough. Parang nag-start ako ng freelancing na parang walang community and then parang
gatekeeping, era.
Yeah. So when I was starting, it was kind of like that when it comes to OBM, like so many, like few people, and it was kind of like tough to really connect or like network. Just everyone is just like, you cannot sit with us vibe, especially wala kang certificate. So now, sobrang dami ng OBM. Ang daming OBM. It's like one of the service na nag-boom na parang everyone na VA wants to be an OBM, which is amazing. Would I stop? Of course not. What can I do to make sure that I'm on top of my game. And I was looking for, okay, how can I get better at being an OBM? Right? Well, aside from you being better at what you do, like being familiar with the tools, the marketing strategies up to it, what else can you do? I did instructional design. So now I'm not just an OBM that can help clients launch and manage their programs. I can create their program. I can backtrack and actually design their program. They just have to tell me their vision and I can design it. I can create everything, their script, their structure. So that's something that a lot of OBM, I don't know anyone other than me that's doing that.
Yeah.
So I did not stop because that's the thing. If you're just stagnant, like, okay, I'm OBM, but like, how can you differentiate yourself? Aside from being you, of course, you have to upskill and you have to reinvent and you have to think of how can I get better at this? How can I master this more? You cannot stop learning.
Yeah.
And when it comes to learning, it's not just like, let me enroll to a lot of courses, because that's another thing. I feel like a lot of freelancer is getting it wrong. Now, I need to master my skill. Let me hoard courses. No, it's not that. Sure, getting a course, getting a coach can help you speed up because they had mistakes now and they can teach you how to avoid it. But you need to have your own learning plan. Like, for example, for me, even though I did not need the clients, like, for example, during the time that I was like, just stable, hindi ko naman kailangan kumuha ng new clients, I was still doing lead generation. I was doing discovery call. Why? Because during the discovery call, you can learn a lot from different business owners. You can learn their strategy. You can learn their problems. So the information that you have about the market research that you have about the problem of the clients, nag-evolve yun eh. And the more you talk to them, the more that knowledge base gets bigger and bigger, and mas magiging magaling kang strategic, like to any skill. Kasi mas nasa-solidify yung market problem. So mas nasa-structure mo yung offer mo.
Makes sense.
So, yes. Yeah. So not just to get client, but also to like solidify your offer. You need to be out there and keep on doing it. Even though you're not planning to close the client. Even though it's not a match. Even though hindi mo siya mako-close at all. Just do discovery call. Just keep on reading like interesting job posts. And until now, I've been telling my students the program. Because they were like, oh, I don't want to apply to this kasi ang daming kailangan sagutan. And the way I see applications and lead generation, it's a game. Like, madami kang papasagutan sa answer. Like, I feel like it's a test. Na parang, ano pinakamagandang sagot dito? Like, I would do it. I would get crazy with it. Like, they would ask for a 2 minutes video. I would record the video.
Yeah.
I was not na parang, no, I'm not gonna apply to that position. But like for me, sit down. Like a lot of companies have HR. They have HR department. Why would they even like excuse you for their process? Na parang, kasi si Suzy to, wag natin padaanin sa HR process. No, you have to go to the HR process and you have to adapt. And it's okay because you're gonna learn from it.
Yeah.
But it's true that a lot of people don't want to go through that because they feel like, no, I don't deserve to go through the HR. I don't deserve to like, dapat mag-discover call sila sa akin, parang calm down. Lahat ng company may process. If may company na diretso sa CEO, then great. If wala, then go through the HR process. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
One of the things that I am getting from this whole conversation is that there's this thing that you have been saying over and over again, which is I did not stop, which makes sense kung bakit unstoppable OBM yung yung tawag sa course mo or sa program mo, and it all makes sense now. It parang yung persona na nakikita ko online, it's all falling into place. Na, kaya pala unstoppable OBM, because she literally did not stop for 8 years. And one of the things also that or rather, the other thing that I'm getting from this conversation is that to make it sustainable, it's really up to you. Kasi, tama, wala namang sustainable if you won't work for it. So, yeah, the sustainability issue ends there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we're about to wrap up this conversation. We went over time, but thank you so much for like doing this with me. But I have three more questions, and these
Sorry,
are
ang dal-dal ko.
it's okay. I love listening to everything from your Spain story to like exchanging of organic goods. Parang gusto ko ding ma-witness. So, yeah. So I have like three more questions, and these are like the funner questions. So the first one would be, what is one thing you wish you knew before you started?
You need to actually do time management. And audit management. Yeah, yeah, like energy is important. And a lot of people that I think is disregarding this. Now when you work from home, you have that privilege to actually take care of yourself more.
Yeah.
Like if you have that power of time freedom, use that time freedom to actually take care of yourself.
Mm.
Because if you don't, your body is your machine, business machine. And if
Yeah.
nagkasakit ka, obviously walang papasok na pera,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And on the first year na nag-work ako online, I was not taking care of myself. So I had like few surgeries and like illness. Well, not malala naman, but like it's more of from stress. It's
Yeah.
yeah, like yung ano lang root cause lang is just really stress. So I think that was like something na I disregard na para because when you're in your 20s, 30 na ako. When you're in your 20s, you have this so much energy. So you just like I think minamaximize mo siya and
Yeah.
tinitest mo lang siya ng tinitest. Like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Until it's not.
Yes. Yeah.
When you transition to freelancing, you have that time freedom. Use it wisely. Like, do
Yeah.
not forget that you need to take care of yourself in order for you to work. Like, really,
Yeah.
like, just even the attention, the productivity, all those things, it relates to how you take care of yourself. And I didn't know that back then. So I wish I knew. I think I was in denial and I was just like, I have all this energy, so it's fine. But no, do not like disregard
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Or like, do not wait for you to reach that point where you actually need to take a
Yeah,
longer rest. And I remember when I had
exactly.
COVID, you were messaging me to like get off my phone and rest.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Kasi parang feeling ko nung time na
Because
yon,
that will prolong it.
yeah,
Yeah.
parang sabi ko, fever lang naman eh. Tapos parang you were like messaging, girl, get off your phone, mag-rest ka na. I'm like, eto na nga. But yeah, it really made sense also. Like it made like my COVID
Mm-hmm.
shorter. Parang 3 days, 4 days lang siya. And then after that, I was done. But yeah, that super makes sense. Parang I'm not sure if the right term is romanticized or parang like we give so much attention to like how much people hustles or like padamihan ng client, padamihan ng ginagawa or
Mm-hmm.
I think the term is glorify.
Yeah.
Yun, gina-glorify yung
Yeah.
I have so many clients, I have so much work, but then yeah, at the expense naman of your
Yeah.
which is
Your health. Yes.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Tama sila, health is wealth talaga. Yeah.
Health is wealth. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So my next question is a fill in the blank question. So fill in the blank. Being a creative has made me or has led me to.
To self-fulfillment, I'm happy. I
Oh.
think, yeah, I think I'm genuinely happy. I think be having that flexibility, having that freedom to always kind of like reinvent yourself, basically.
Mm.
Like I'm not fearful if I'm gonna lose a client because I know I can always like find a way. I
Mm.
can always reinvent myself. And I think this realization was just like recently as well because I was talking to Arturo, my partner, and he's in this like zone na parang he's kind of like still confused, wala pa siyang clarity kung anong gusto niya, kind of. And lagi niya sinasabi na I wish I'm the beanie. He calls me beanie. I'm the beanie that has this clarity now. And I was like, I don't have a clarity. And he's like, no, you do. Like, you already like know what you want. And it's like, I don't know what I want. And he's like, no, but what I meant is that you trust yourself that you can always reinvent because you're happy in the state. And when you're happy in what you do, it's just everything is gonna fall into place and you're at peace.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is so nice. One of the questions that I wanted to ask earlier, which I know that you already answered in like one of your stories, was that I was always wondering, like, this was also in line of what you said earlier, that dati walang OBM, tas ngayon suddenly ang dami ng OBM, nagkaroon ng boom, and then yung iba mas bata, mas maraming, like mas maraming energy. Like,
Yeah,
one of the questions I wanted
for
to ask
sure.
kanina was like, were you ever threatened by like the new generation?
Yeah, no, as cliche as it may be, I think I always, and I've been telling this to my students because when I started the coaching program, I've been receiving some of the messages na para, oh, coach, you're the goal. I want to be you. And I've been telling, like, you cannot be me. Like, you don't have the same energy. You don't have, like, the same personality. You don't have the same stories. You cannot be me. And you don't have the same, like, the way how my mind works, right? Like, because sometimes I would show them discovery calls, my discovery calls. I would ask them to watch it. I would ask them to give feedback. And then some of the feedback is like, oh, I want to be like this in my discovery call. And I was like, no, like you have to be you. So that's the thing. Like the only way for you not to be threatened by anyone is just like really work on yourself and being you. Because that's the only
Yeah.
unique thing. Like all of them, like for example, my OBM students, they have the same learning, right? Like learning the way how to do things. They have the same templates. They're in the same program. So
Yeah.
how can they differentiate themselves? By just being them. That's
Yeah.
all. And the same with me. I'm not threatened with other like service provider because I know I'm being me and it's just one me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. Okay, so finally, we're down to the last question. And my last question would be, if there's something that people should know about being an independent creative, what should it be?
I think that would be setting boundaries, standing your ground, and standing on your like values. Because the thing is, if it's a money now, right? Like a lot of freelancers, I get it. Na maski hindi na value aligned, maski na they feel like their mental health is being affected, they still go for it. But one thing na I realized all throughout these years, no matter how much money that is, if it's harming your mental health, your emotional, like everything, you have to let it go. You need to set boundaries because at the end of the day, those businesses is the same with employers. They don't care. Maski sabihin na lang they care about you, worst comes to worst, they're gonna choose them. They're not gonna choose you. So you have to choose yourself and you have to set your boundaries. You have to respect your values and you have to let it go. At the end of the day, if you let go, and I really believe this, if you let go of that block and you thought, pag nilet go ko to, sayang, wala na. No, there's gonna be bigger doors na mag-open sa'yo. And this happened to me many, many, many times. And I proved this many, many times na if you're gonna settle. So imagine, sinabi ko din to kanina about energy na if you're stressed with one client, you're not setting your boundaries, you feel shit every day. Your mental health is shit. You're not gonna show up.
Yeah.
You're not gonna show up 100% to other clients. So when you don't show up 100% to other clients, to other people, to even your friends, you're not gonna attract. You're actually gonna block everything, every opportunities because you're not being your 100%. But when you remove that block and you remove all those like unaligned, you will be surprised how many like opportunities and doors that are gonna open for you.
Yeah.
Like, do not have the scarcity mindset. The world is full of blessings and full of opportunities. You just have to open the door and remove those blocks.
I love that you're ending with that story because we started with you shoving freelancing to the wrong people. You were so focused on the wrong group that you weren't able to open your door to this set of people who are actually willing to learn. And then parang full circle
Exactly.
story yung episode. Now we're ending with this. Now you have to let go to let the opportunities come in. And I love that we are ending there because like if there's anything that I love about the freelancing world, whether it be digital or physical, it's that opportunities are everywhere and you just have to be open to it. So yeah, thank you so much, Susie, Coach Susie, for being on the podcast.
No, thank you.
And for sharing your
Yeah, this has
story
been fun.
yeah, like from sharing where you started to how you get to where you are, and like from all the rackets that you did way, way back. I really appreciate you telling us about that. So before I let you go, maybe you can let the listeners or people who are watching know where we can find you if they wanna join your program, if it's still open, or like they can join a wait list. Where can we sign up?
So you can actually follow me in Susie.pongalosa. Yeah, on Instagram and on TikTok. You can add me on Facebook. I have a free community, online business manager Philippines. Yes, Facebook group. It's free if you want to learn about OBM. Right now I'm on kind of on pause on like doing lives, but I did weekly Q&A there, which I think I'm gonna do it again this September. And then I have a free group for people who wants to transition to freelancing here in Spain as well. It's Filipino Freelancer. I'm gonna send you all the links.
Yes.
That's it for me. Thank you
That's
so much. I enjoyed this conversation a lot.
Yay, I'm so
Salamat.
happy. Yay. Okay, so if you didn't catch any of that, you heard her. She's going to send me all the links and we're going to put everything in the show notes. And yeah, thanks again so much for being on the podcast.
Thank
You're so
you.
pretty.
Thank you.
Okay.
You
All right.
too.
Thanks again for listening to Spill the Creativity podcast. If you like this episode, I would really appreciate it if you can give me a 5-star rating on Spotify and a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. Or you can also take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram at Spill the Creativity Podcast, and you can also try the special filters if you want. Thanks again for listening to this episode, and make sure to catch fresh drops every Thursday morning. Bye!